Okay, this is number 30, and if I read it, it says the graph of a quadratic function, a parabola, has x-intercepts -1 and 3 and a range consisting of all numbers less than or equal to 4. Determine an expression for the function. Well, if it's less than or equal, that means it has a maximum. All right, so it's a parabola, so it's either going to be shaped like a U or an N. Well, if it's shaped like a U, it's going to have a minimum value. If it's going to be shaped like an N, it's going to have a maximum value. And that's what this has. It has a maximum because it says the range, that's the vertical position, are all numbers that are less than or equal to 4. So that makes 4 a maximum value. Okay. So in other words, it's going to be shaped like an N. Well, first of all, I know my intercepts are going to be -1 and 3. So I know that factors will be x plus 1 and x minus 3. All right. In other words, these are the zeros. All right. So if these are the zeros, and I set each of these equal to 0, x would equal to -1 or x would equal to 3. So I'm going backwards, and these are factors. And I multiply these out, I get this parabola. But this is shaped, this is positive, so it's shaped like a U. All right. So what I have to do is I have to have one that's shaped like an N. So all I have to do is just reverse that. So I multiply everything by a negative sign, and I have a parabola. Now these parabolas have the same roots, the same zeros, all right? Except now this parabola is shaped like a U, and this is shaped like an N, and this is what I want. And I can always check my vertex. Because once we have this, remember the x value of a vertex is -b over 2a. So if I take -2 over 2 times -1, that's -2 over -2, which is 1. That means the x value of my vertex is 1. And if I put that 1 back in this equation, -1 plus 5 is 4. There's my vertex at 1, 4. So I can find the vertex real easy by using that -b over 2a. I think we talked about that earlier, and then we're going to talk about it in the next problem. So basically it's going to look like this. You didn't have to sketch it, but basically you know that kind of reaffirms in your mind what's going on here. This is shaped like an N, because that's negative. These are the intercepts, and there's your maximum value. Okay. 30b, now they want you to sketch the graph of this quadratic function. So this is my quadratic function. So how do we sketch the graph? Well, first of all, we try to find the intercepts. That's one way. Now, again, it's a parabola, so is it shaped like a U or an N? Well, since this is positive, it's shaped like a U, so we know it's going to be shaped like a U. So let's find out where the intercepts are. And we can first of all, find the zeros, and by just use the quadratic formula. You know, x equals -b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And voila, what happens is I've got a negative number here. So since I have a negative under the radical, it means I have complex or I have imaginary roots. So I have no real roots. So it's shaped like a U, but it's going to be up here high. So that's not going to help me sketch it. So I should try to find the vertex. And remember, we can find the vertex. And remember, this -b over 2a is real easy to remember because that's just the first part of the quadratic formula. Remember, x equals -b plus or minus the square root all over 2a. So just take the first part, the -b all over 2a. That's real easy to remember that that's the formula for the x value of the vertex. And then we just put that back in the function to find the y value, and we can find the vertex. So I know there's no real roots. It's shaped like a U. So what I can do is I can put in, let's see, -b, so that'd be 4, +4 all over 2a, and 2 times 2 is 4, so that's going to be 1. Now if I put 1 back in here, I get 2 times 1 is 2, plus 3 is 5, minus 4 times 1 is 4, which is just 5 minus 4, which is 1. So there's my vertex. So my vertex is going to be at 1, 1. Now I can also find the y-intercept. In other words, when x is 0, what's y? Well, that's easy to find. When x is 0, y is 3. So I know it looks something like this. Here's my vertex at 1, 1. It's shaped like a U, and it goes through the point 0, 3. Now remember, the axis of symmetry is a vertical line that goes right through the vertex. So this is the axis of symmetry. So right on the other side of this axis of symmetry, which is at 1, I have another point on the parabola, 2, so 2, 3. So when x is 2, or when x is 0, the y values will be the same because this is the axis of symmetry. So I also have this point 2, 3. So I can pretty much get a good sketch of the curve by using these 3 points. My y-intercept, the point that's on the opposite side of the axis of symmetry, the 2, 3, and the vertex. And I know it's shaped like a U. So you can get a pretty good sketch like that. So this is a good review of good old Algebra 2 concepts. Hope that helps.